9 persons have been confirmed to have sustained injuries from debris of mass destruction weapon when Yemeni Houthi group fired a new hypersonic ballistic missile into Tel Aviv, Israel on Sunday morning. The long-range missile was said to have been fired from 2,040 kilometers in Yemen, and the automatic controlled bomb arrived Israel in less than 13 minutes. The Israel military earlier on Sunday said that a long-range ballistic missile fired from Yemen hit central Israel, setting off air raid sirens. We gathered that the missile triggered air raid sirens in Tel Aviv and across central Israel, including the Ben Gurion International Airport, sending residents running for shelter. There were no reports of casualties or damage, and the airport authority said normal operations resumed shortly after the missile set fire in some locations in Israel. Responders could be seen on Sunday in a video posted online putting out a fire in Kfar Daniel, near Tel Aviv, in central Israel after the missile shot from Yemen. Magen David Adom, Israel's emergency services, said in a post on X that 9 people had suffered minor injuries as they sought shelter. A Yemeni missile reached Israel after 20 missiles failed to intercept it, Nasruddin Emma, a Houthi media official, posted on X. The group's military spokesperson, Yahya Sari, announced that it had targeted a military position of the Israeli enemy in the Jaffa area with a new hypersonic ballistic missile that had managed to evade Israel's air defense systems. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said at the start of a cabinet meeting on Sunday that the Houthis should have known by now that we charge a heavy price for any attempt to harm us, according to a statement from the Israeli Prime Minister office. Benjamin Netanyahu in quotes said, "We are in a multi-front campaign against Iran's axis of evil, which is striving for our destruction." This morning, the Houthis launched a surface-to-surface missile from Yemen at our territory. They should know that we exact a high price for any attempt to attack us. Whoever needs a reminder of this is invited to visit the port of Hodeidah. Whoever attacks us will not evade our strike. Hamas is already learning this through our determined action, which will bring about its destruction and the release of all of our hostages. I have visited the north. I am attentive to the residents of the north. I speak with them and with the heads of local authorities in the north. I see their distress. I hear their anguish. The current situation will not continue. This requires a change in the balance of forces on our northern border. We will do whatever is necessary to return our residents securely to their homes. I am committed to this. The government is committed to this, and we will not suffice with less than this. We will do this thanks to the heroism of our fighters and the unity among us, as a united people rising up against our enemies in order to ensure our future, Benjamin Netanyahu stated. Yemen's Houthi group spokesperson, Yahya Sari, said the group struck a military target in Jaffa with a new hypersonic ballistic missile that traveled 2040 kilometers, 1270 miles, in just 11.5 minutes. We learned that the Hatim 2 ballistic missile, developed by the Yemeni Military Manufacturing Authority, features an intelligent control system, hypersonic speed, and high maneuverability. It uses solid fuel and has several generations, each with varying ranges. The group claimed that the ballistic missile evaded Israeli defense systems, which included the fighter jets, jamming systems, and over-airspace of allies KSA and Jordan. Some media reported that Israeli ground defenses fired several interceptor missiles, none of which succeeded in shooting it down, adding over 2 million Israelis took refuge in shelters at the time of the attack. The missile penetrated Israel's multi-layered air defense system, including the Arrow, David Sling, Iron Dome, aircraft, and jamming systems. Verbatim of Yemen's armed forces, Houthis, spokesman's statement released on Sunday reads below. The missile force of the Yemeni armed forces, with the help of Allah Almighty, carried out a qualitative military operation targeting an Israeli enemy military objective in the area of Jaffa in occupied Palestine. The operation was executed with a new hypersonic ballistic missile, which, by the grace of Allah, successfully reached its target. The enemy's defenses failed to intercept and counter it. The missile traveled a distance of approximately 2,040 kilometers in 11.5 minutes, causing fear and panic among the Zionists, with more than 2 million Zionists rushing to shelters for the first time in the history of the Israeli enemy. This operation is part of the fifth phase and is the culmination of the efforts of the heroic missile forces, who made tremendous efforts in developing missile technology to meet the requirements and challenges of the battle against the Zionist enemy, and successfully reach its target and overcoming all obstacles, including American and Israeli interception systems on land and sea, as well as other systems. The obstacles of geography, the American-British aggression, and the surveillance, espionage, and defense systems will not prevent their Yemen from fulfilling its religious, moral, and humanitarian duty in supporting the Palestinian people. The Israeli enemy should expect more strikes and special operations in the future, as we approach the first anniversary of the blessed October 7th operation. These operations include responses to their criminal aggression on the city of Al-Hodeida, as well as continued support for the oppressed Palestinian people, Yemen Houthi spokesperson Yahya Saree stated. Palestinian fighters, Hamas shortly after the attack, released a statement commending the Yemen Houthis for what they described as a missile strike against the aggression of Israel. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, we, in the Islamic Resistance Movement, Hamas commend the missile strike carried out by the Yemeni armed forces and our brothers in Ansar al-Adib into the Zionist entity. We consider it a natural response to the aggression of the Zionist entity against our Palestinian people, as well as against Yemen and the Arab region. We affirm that the Zionist enemy will not enjoy security as long as its brutal aggression continues against our people in the Gaza Strip. The actions of the resistance fronts in Yemen, Lebanon, and Iraq, in continuing their support and direct confrontation with the Zionist enemy, are the legitimate right of our nation's resistance and its peoples. These actions confirm the unity of our nation and its shared destiny in facing the Zionist project and its colonial hegemony in Palestine and the Arab region. We renew our call to all forces, free peoples, and living consciences in our nation and the world to continue their support and backing for our people and their valiant resistance, until the aggression and the war of extermination in Gaza cease, and the aspirations of our people are realized in reclaiming their national rights, liberating their land and holy sites, and establishing their Palestinian state with Jerusalem as its capital, Hamas stated. The Houthi group, also known as Ansar Allah, supporters of God, controls most parts of Yemen, including the capital, Sana'a. It has been attacking Israeli-linked ships in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, the Bab al-Mandeb Strait, since November in what it says is a campaign of solidarity with Palestinians and against Israel's continuing war on Gaza.
Osazu, bringing you the news in a more digital way.